Thank you for reconnecting me. It's the 24th of May, Rabbi Levitt Gemora.
Okay. Ez Hashem. Okay, so it's not marked where we're holding. But we are on this Itmar Nigdavu Ba'onis. That's what we're on. Yeah, I have to get a pencil over here. Okay. So Nigdavu Itmar Nigdavu Ba'onis.
On 108B2, right-hand column, last paragraph.
Okay. So, Lou, you want to read for us?
Sure. Itmar, it was stated, Nignavu va'onis v'hu kar ha-ganav. Let's see. It was stolen in an unavoidable way, and the thief was identified. Hukar Haganav. Hukar must mean identified.
Yeah.
Amar Abaye, says Abaye, Im Shomer Pinam Hu, if the guardian was a guard who guards for free, Ratza Oseh Imo Din Ratza Nishba. If he wants, he can make with him a justice. If he wants, he can pay. I'm sorry. If he wants, he can swear. If he wants, he can. I guess this Oseh Din means that he pays him.
Right.
So if he wants, he can pay him, or if he wants, he can swear and not pay him. Im Shomer Sachar, who, if he was a paid custodian, Oseh Imo Din, Ve'eno Nishba, he must pay, and he cannot swear. Correct? Correct? So far?
I'm bothered over here.
He can't swear because he's a paid guard. He's liable.
Why is he liable? It was not his fault.
Oh, it was Ba'onis. Yeah. Good question. Yeah, my footnote says it was stolen by armed bandits.
Yeah, that's what Rashi says.
Yeah. So why can't he swear? He's a paid guard. Oh, wait a second. A paid guard. That's like a security guard, isn't he? No, he's not responsible for armed bandits. He's only responsible for unarmed bandits. Yeah, I agree with you, Rabbi. I don't understand it either. Oh, wait, I'm going to footnote. Although the paid custodian is not liable to absorb the loss in a case of unavoidable theft, in the case where the thief has been identified and the custodian will not lose monetarily, it is his duty to go through the trouble of retrieving the deposit. Therefore, he must pay the owner and litigate with the thief himself, according to Rashi.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what Rashi says over here. Yeah, that's
okay. So Rava Amar, Rava says, Echad zeh, the echad zeh, this one and that one, meaning the unpaid guard and the paid guard, oseh imo din ve'eno nishba. Both of them have to pay and cannot swear. Probably for the same reason. That the thief is identified, therefore the guard has the ability to go after the thief, and so the halacha says he's got to do that. But it seems odd to me for an unpaid guard. I mean, I go to Plony and I say, please watch my car for me while I'm gone on vacation. And so he's watching it, and armed robbers come along and they steal it. Now he's responsible. Seems kind of odd. Should I go weiter, or is that enough?
Yeah, that's enough. We're gonna read the Rashis over here now, starting with Nignava Ba'onis. So this is talking about the case. Yeah. Okay. That's the case. Nignava Ba'onis.
Nignava Ba'onis. Let me see what this going on.
It's about 3/4 of the way down. The first word in the line is
okay. Nignava Ba'onis. It was stolen, with an unavoidable. And here it's the least in Mizuyafim. We did this. It's armed robbers. The Shomasacha, highest Homer is Pataba, would be Pata from that. But afterwards, Hukar Haganef. Afterwards, it became known that they knew who they identified. It was known who the thief was. They identified the V'chol Kofo Lahotzi Miado, and he can go and force to take it from his hand. So he can go after the thief.
Lahotzi Miado. Yeah, I don't know what that means. This guy was he stole it with a gun. I don't know if I would be so interested to talk to him about giving the item back that he stole with a gun. I don't know. It's kind of funny. That's what Rashi says. Yeah. Okay. I mean, right. So Rashi points out that it was taken in a way of onus. The shomer's the shomer. Didn't he say the shomer is potter? Shomer socher is potter. So we're saying that he's potter as long as they have not apprehended who the thief is, and that it's possible to approach the thief and get the stolen item back from the thief. But once we do once the ganav is hukar, so then that's when this Gemora starts. That we say that the shomer has to. Then we have a question: does the shomer have to pursue after this ganav or not? So that's going to be a machlokes over here between Abaya and Rava. Not in all cases, according to Abaya, and according to Rava, in all cases he's required to pursue after him. Let's see further in the Rashi. What I would like to know is what is it that Rashi means over here? Yochel kofo lahotzi miyodo. Does he simply mean to say that, you know, since we've identified him, it's theoretically, and therefore what that means is that since we have identified him, it's possible to
you know who to go after in terms of din, because you know who it is.
Yeah, that's all it means. It doesn't mean that we have any.
It's not like you have an unknown robbery stolen. You know who robbed did it. Then who do you go after? Here there is somebody who you can physically go after. You can physically take that person to Beit Din.
Yeah. Okay, but the question over here, of course, that we're asking is if the shomer himself is exempt from liability, basically because he wasn't really required to do anything to with a guy holding a gun to confront him. Why isn't it the case that he's out of here? He's let the what's his name, if he wants the owner, let him go to the Ganav. Why do both Abai and Rava say that even in the case of the Shomer Sachar, he's got an obligation to go after this Ganav himself?
Okay, now there are two different things. There's Abaya and Rava. We only did Abaya so far, but there's more Rashis coming up on this, so we're not really finished with it because that's one case. There's a question of the Shomachinam. He said you could do either one. The Shomer Sachar you can't, and Abaya is saying not even the Shomachinam. You always have to go after. That case is different if you catch to what Rava says. So, and then there's Rashi's all the way through on this. What's the difference between the two?
Now, of course, I'll point out that this Gemora is okay. I thought that this might have nafkamina in terms of the payment of the kefo, but I'm not sure whether the Gemora is finished with that discussion of who he has to pay the kefo to or not. Whether it would seem that it has to do with that. Because as we said in the previous cases, that as long as the shomer is on the job and he's so then he's acting on behalf of the bailim. So anyway, we'll see. Okay, so we have more Rashis on the section that we already read. So now we're up to Rashi Dibra Maskal Rotza Nishba. If he wants, he could swear.
Okay, if he wants, he can swear. V'habali yifaru min haganav. So he can swear, which means he doesn't have to pay. He doesn't have to pay them, and the owners can then go collect it from the thief. He swears, so he doesn't have to pay the owner anything. He's off of that because he was just a shomer chinam, so he's off of having to pay the owner. And if the owner wants to get the money back, he can go to the thief.
Right. That halakha, I can understand that.
Okay. Then the second part of it, though, says osa amindin, that he can go, or if he wants, he can go to din with it. Mishalem labalim, he could pay the owners. Vahu yifare min haganav, and then he will then go and collect it from the thief. So that's all the first case.
Yeah. So what that would seem to mean is that he's now stepping into the shoes of the owner, and if they in other words, he would be the one that would be toveya from the thief, and if the thief did not admit, and he brought witnesses against him that he thieved it away, the thief would be required to pay kefil. And who would he be required to pay kefil to? Clearly, he'd be required to pay kefil to the shomer, because the shomer has acquired the right to receive the kefil based upon the fact that he paid the owner the keren. But here the emphasis is on the fact that since he's a shomer chinam, according to Abaye, he doesn't have to get involved over here. If he wants, what he could do is he could swear that he was held up and forced against his will to cough up the pikadon, and like that he'll be exempt, and he'll be absolved of any further involvement in this case. He doesn't have to go after the ganef at all, and that'll be that. If he wants, he can elect to pay the bailim, and if so, then now he's got the right to go against the ganef and get the kefil. Okay, so that's the first case of a shomer chinam. What about a shomer socher? Is there Rashi on shomer socher?
That's the next Rashi. Im shomer socher. But if it's a shomer socher,
yeah,
the potter, the listing, the mezuyim, even though you would be potter with armed robbers, hacha here, well, since the hukar hagana. So this is a special case, because in this case that we know who the god thief is, lo yafsim the baalim. There's not going to be any loss at all the baalim, because they're always going to get there. They don't have somebody to go after. The Achzor, and he can go back. And then Yifarei mean Haganif, and then he will go and collect it from the thief. So there's no loss in his case, because he always has somebody to claim it against.
Okay, it's interesting. That's called there's no loss.
And then it says, I don't know if this is part of this next one. Ose. I mean, we could take him. We could bring him to din. Yishalem. He will pay the mitzvah love that whoever's found on lachzor achar haveda. It's the same thing. After a loss is not the same thing. So that may be different.
Wow, what is Rashi saying over there?
Aveda is totally different, because it's achar aveda we haven't done. So I don't think there must be another place with a Veda coming up.
Okay, so Rashi's talking still according to Abaye.
Well, it doesn't matter. Actually, according to Rava has him. You didn't get to. Rava says he has to actually pay both, either way, even for a shoma chinon, he should always take him to din.
Yeah, no, this is not Rava. Rashi's the Dibro Maskil Ve'im Shomer Socher Hu. That's going according to Abaye. If he's a Shomer Socher, so then he has no choice. Even according to Abaye, he has no choice to Shomer Socher. He has no choice. What do we mean he has no choice? He has to. He cannot elect to exempt himself with this situation by making a shvua and exempting himself and opting out of any more further involvement in this case. He's required to osa imob din, to do a din with the owner, which means to say that he's obligated to pay the owner for the item. He's not allowed to swear and exempt himself. He's got to pay for the item that was stolen, even though he had nothing, no negligence or lack of shmira involved in the matter. He's got to pay for it, and then he's got to go after the ganav to get back his what he paid for to the bailim. Hopefully, he'll be able to do so. And hopefully, he won't get shot at because he's doing that. I don't know. If I were him, I would just pay the guy and take the loss. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to me such a favorable scenario for this shomer sacher to go after the ganav who robbed it with a gun. But he's got no choice according to Abaye. That's the din. Osi imo din. Now, this that you mentioned over here, Phil, from the Rashi, Rashi says, Osi imo din, Yishalem. That's the din. The din is pay up. You got no choice to swear and exempt yourself. Do the din means to pay up. And then Rashi says an interesting thing. The mitzvah olav, l'chazer achar aveda. It's a mitzvah that is on the shomer to seek after the lost item. I don't know why it's a lost item.
That tells you that the lost item must mean that may be relating to a later on in the Gemara. They may be talking about lost case, which is a different case. Otherwise, it's not an Aveda. So I don't think later they're going to talk about that. It could be later in the Gemara. We'll talk about the go through an Aveda case.
Yeah, they bring over here from the Yad Ramah in the Shita Mikubetzis that he says the following over here, Osi Modin. Oh, this Yad Ramah is okay. We'll see. We'll wait for this Yad Ramah. There's another Rashi over here. So okay. So now that was Abaye. So Abaye says it depends. If he's a shomer chinam, he's got a choice. He can swear and exempt himself and get out of this whole situation, and that's that. Or if he wants, if he wants to pay, then he's got a right to go against this armed bandit over here and try to get his money back that he paid to the guy. And perhaps I don't know why he'd want to do that, but maybe in order to perhaps get kefil out of this armed bandit. Maybe that's the reason why. And no, okay. But if it's a shomer sakar, he's got no choice. He's got to pay. And he's got to go after the ganav to get his money back, because Rashi says it's a mitzvah to seek after his lost item. Okay, now we have no more Rashi. We have no more Rashi up until here, at least. Also, then I will say this Yad Ramah. Okay, this Yad Ramah says that the Yad Ramah says like this, that he's got to go after the guy because he's a so there's no Rashi on what Rava says. There's no Rashi on what Rava says. What does Rava say? Echad zeh ve'echad zeh. Osa imodin. Whether he is a shomer sacher, whether he's a shomer chinam, he's got no choice. Osa imodin. He's obligated to go to din with the bailim, and what does that mean? He's got no alternative other than to pay. Ve'eno nishba, and he's not allowed to swear and exempt himself. So therefore, what is he what does he have to do? He's got to pay. He's got to pay the owner for the value of the deposited item, and then he's going to have to if he wants to get back that layout that he paid the guy for the thing, even though it wasn't his fault. He's got to go after the ganav. And the Yad Ramah says, "Kevan she'im hashomer yochol lahotzias ha'geneva miyad ha'ganav ve'eno osakain harei zu pshia ve'af shomer chinam chayav bo." Oh, so the Yad Ramah is saying it would seem to be a totally different thing than what Rashi is saying. He's saying that, you know what the reason why this shomer has to go and put himself out and try to extract the stolen item from the ganav? Because because if he would be able to extract this stolen item away from the ganav, and he doesn't do so, if he'd be able to do that, to retrieve it from the ganav, and he doesn't bother to do so, the Yad Ramah says that harezu pshia, that would amount to a pshia. That would amount to a lack of proper he's at fault. He would be at fault in that scenario. And not only a shomer sacher would be at fault in that scenario, even a shomer chinam would be at fault in that scenario. And that's why Rava says even a shomer chinam is going to have to do this. And the whole thing depends upon the fact that we know who this ganav is now. We've identified the ganav. And Rashi has stated that what that means is it's now possible to go after the ganav and retrieve the stolen item. And so therefore the Yad Ramah reasons that even a shomer chinam, who's not even paid for his shmira, he would also be required to, because if he didn't do so, even though he was capable of going and getting it from him, that would amount to a pshia if he didn't do so to make the effort to try to get it from this ganav.
So
and even a shomer chinam is responsible for pshia. So therefore, that's why he's responsible over here. Even a shomer chinam, according to Abaye, according to Rava.
So I have a case. Plony gives me his horse. Says, "Watch my horse while I go on my trip." I say, "Okay." So I put his horse in my corral with my horses.
Yeah.
Jesse James and his gang come riding up, guns blazing. They break the fence of my corral. They take my horses, including his horse. They ride away to their bandit hideout in the Badlands of Montana. Now I have an obligation to go to the Badlands of Montana and confront Jesse James and his gang, get my friend's horse back. And if not, I'm negligent.
Yeah, well, that's that. You know, this is the difficulty of this thing. That you know, that's the Rashi says over here in Divrei Maskil Nigneva Ba'onis. That's what Rashi says. Achakach hukar aganav v'yochol lekofo u'lehotzi miyado. Rashi says afterwards they identified who this ganav is, and now it's capable of extracting it from him. Even Rashi says lekofo, to force him to extract it, to get it out from him. So you're saying, well, what about a case where even the case that the Rashi brings of a armed bandit, even that case seems to be a bit difficult to understand why Rashi says, nevertheless, but now that we've identified who this armed bandit is, so now it's anybody can just it's possible to go over and beat this guy over the head and say, shame on you, you ganav that you are, give back this thing, or I'm gonna who knows what I'm gonna do to you. Like wouldn't you be afraid that the guy's gonna shoot you? It's hard to understand. It is hard to understand.
Well, let me ask you this. Can I go to Tombstone and go to the court and say, Jesse James has my horse, and the court will now call up Wyatt Earp and say, go get that horse. Wyatt Earp will go and confront Jesse James. Is that a possible answer to why I'm responsible? Because I'm just responsible to go to the court and make the request?
Well, Rashi doesn't really say that the Bezdin is required to do anything. He says that the Shomer is required to do this.
But it says he's required to make a din.
No, that's what that's referring to is to make a din with the bailim, with the depositor.
Oh,
which basically means that he's required to pay him.
but once he pays, what does it say he has to do with the thief? Does he have to make a din?
If he wants the money back, he goes to the thief. If it was
he's not
stolen by the armed robbers, he wants the money back. Then he knows who these people are. He knows who knows who they are.
So what? He knows who they are. They're Jesse James and his gang. That doesn't help.
No, but it's a thief. It's a question of it. It's not that the armed robbers were a different situation. It's how it got taken. But since it got taken, that somebody owes the money. This object was stolen, right? We know the object was stolen from an owner. The object was stolen from an owner, and a thief stole the object from an owner. Then it got stolen by the thief, by these armed robbers. So the question then becomes, the owners have to get their money back, right? If from because it's the owner's object that got stolen. So that was where the question became. He said, no, you could go claim the object from the thief.
Maybe what we mean over here is Rashi doesn't mention the Bezdin per se, but maybe that's what Rashi means. Maybe Rashi means when he says that after we identify the thief, what Rashi means when he says, oh yeah, now the shomer, he can go and force the ganav to cough up the stolen item. What does Rashi mean? He means that he's gonna be able to take the ganav, summon him to a din Torah, and then the Bezdin is going to find him guilty and tell him to pay. And what if they don't? And what if he doesn't do so? The Bezdin, they've got all sorts of ways of getting people to do what it is that they told them to do. Yeah, of course they do. So that's what Rashi means when he says that the shomer would be able to do this. And if he doesn't do that, it would be regarded as a pshia. So therefore, he has not fulfilled his obligation as a shomer if he doesn't do this. But even that I don't understand. Why? Fine. They found out who the ganav is. Let the original owner go and take this ganav to summon him to a din Torah. Why does the shomer have to do it? Especially in light of the fact that really he's exempt on the whole Maisa. Why should he have to involve himself any further? That's what's not understandable to me. Why do we put the obligation on the shomer to pursue after the claim against the ganav? That's what I don't understand.
I can understand for the paid guard, but not for the guard who guards for free.
But really, the paid guard is also he's really exempt on a case of geneva ba'onis. So just like any shomer, if he would be exempt on the case, so that's it. That's he's not responsible for the loss. Period. That's the end of the story. Why does he have to? It's a chiddush to me that he's got to involve himself over here. Anyway,
Yeah, you got a good argument.
But I think this thing with Jesse James, I think that's worked out. I mean, maybe today, our Jewish courts, they don't really have any power because they don't really have any power, right? But maybe the Bezdin back then, an ordinary Bezdin, people had to listen to the Bezdin, because if they didn't listen to the Bezdin, the Bezdin, they can do whatever they want to get somebody to listen. So,
Right.
So that part I can understand, but why I still don't really understand why the shomer has to why he's still required to be involved with this case. That I don't understand.
Yeah, exempt is exempt. I see your point.
Yeah. And there would be no doubt that he would be exempt if we didn't find the ganav, and he'd be out of the case, and that would just be they can. It's just because of the fact that we have identified who the ganav is, and so we do know how to get this stolen item back. Okay. Let's see if there's any Tosas on this. I don't. Oh, right. Tosas says there's a Tosas over here. Nigdava ba'onis. Says Tosas near the ain shum geneva kuruya onis ella ballisti mezuyin. Says Tosas, there's no such a thing as a geneva that's regarded as an onus, something that was beyond the shomer to be able to prevent from happening, except in the case of listim bezuyin, which is exactly what Rashi says. Became muchach le'el ba'konis, and this is also made undisputably clear in the Gemora in Akonis on Nun Zion Amid Aleph.
What is listin mizuyan?
Armed robbers.
What?
Yes.
Armed robbers.
The word mizuyan is armaments.
Ah.
I mean, because you have the armed robbers. It's the famous "your money or your life." You don't have to give up your life, so that's why you have to give it over to the armed robbers. You're not expected to be stupid.
Yeah, listing, I believe, is another word for a ganav, but it's only used in this context of an armed robber. Right, a goslin also takes with force, but not with a gun. Right. A ganav takes in stealth. Okay. All right, very good.
Okay. Be well. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom, and you have a I won't be back for probably close to 3 weeks here, so we'll see when I get
Oh,
back.
wow. Oh, you're going to for a visit now.
It's not actually visit. I'm going on a tour. I'm going on an organized tour.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Where are you
Very
going?
good.
Going to Japan.
Oh, I almost went on that trip. I know
Yeah.
the trip you're talking about. I was about to sign up, and then I realized that my granddaughter's bas mitzvah conflicts,
Yeah, Mazel Tov.
so I
Good.
canceled. But yeah, I know that trip. Have a great time.
Good, thanks.
Okay.
Right. Okay, take care, thanks.
Enjoy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Shabbos, a good Erev Yom Tov.
Good Yom Tov.